Welcome back to another episode of Dear Single Mama Podcast. I am your founder and host, Clarion Brown, and I'm so excited that you decided to tune back into yet another episode as we continue to grow. Thank you so much for your support, for your love, for your reviews, for your comments, for your feedback in the DMs. Thank you guys so much. It is so greatly appreciated, and I'm telling you, I cannot do it without you guys. So listen, I have another great episode on today. I have someone with me on today who has blended her family to perfection. And you guys know, as single mamas, hey, we are dealt with these cards that sometimes we may not end up with our children's father. And that's okay, because that's in the plan that God has for our lives. And so this young lady has blended her family together, and they are living happily, not perfect, but happily. And so I want to introduce her. I have with me today Mrs. Nicole Odom-Hardnett. She is an author, an entrepreneur, a keynote speaker, and an expert in blended family dynamics and relationships. She's living the experience of a blended household with her husband, Thomas Hardnett Jr., and their 7 beautiful yet very different adult children and their 1 grandchild. She started her entrepreneurial pursuit as the founder of Focus Point Solutions in 2010, which was initially founded as a transitional housing facility. And its chain of transitional projects has grown into outpatient substance abuse treatment programs and mental health centers, with 4 centers in Maryland, and it plans to enlarge its territories in other states. That's amazing right there. We definitely need that. Mrs. Hardnett has authored 3 books. Her first book, Blended to Perfection, is partially based on obstacles she faced as she brings the families together in the same house while dealing with the inside and the outside forces. Y'all know how that can be. Determined to see that the union will fail. But after a rough start and hard work, her family is blended to perfection. So please help me give a virtual, amazing welcome to Mrs. Odom-Hardnett.
Hey, Clarion, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
No, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so excited about this topic, and I'm really, really passionate about it because, sometimes as single mothers, not all of us have the privilege to end up marrying our child's father. And I'm going to just keep it 100. Thank God that I'm not marrying mine. They are amazing men. I pray for them, but thank God I'm not marrying them. And we just going to keep that 100, okay? But everybody doesn't have the opportunity to do that. And so they do end up becoming and growing into a blended family. And I've seen so much drama happen within blended families, and you have blended like perfectly, So like, let's just start with the first topic before anything. How do you date with that purpose and with that intent when you do have kids?
You have to date a lot of frogs first. That's what that comes from. Unfortunately, you have to do all of that stuff. And once you have dated all of those frogs, you have learned some valuable lessons from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I learned a lot of lessons from dating, having all those failed relationships. I learned the type of man, because not all the relationships were bad. Let me say that. Mm-hmm. There were things that didn't go so right, that made the person not right for me. And so that caused me to look at myself and what I needed in a partner. And with that being said, I needed to take some time out eventually and just date myself to see, okay, who is Nicole? What does Nicole like? What does she want? And just, reflect on the situations that I went through in those relationships, what did I like in that relationship? What didn't I like? What type of personality do I need? I'm a strong personality myself.
Yeah.
I'm a woman who knows what she wants, but I also like a man to be the man
Yes.
in the house. You know, I don't necessarily need anyone to take care of me because I know how to take care of myself. But I want someone who is going to be my partner in life. And so
Yeah.
you need to know what type of woman you are. And once you know all of those things, and it's a lot of things, it's a lot of stuff that comes along with that dating yourself. It's
Yeah.
not just you going to dinner by yourself, going to the movies, and that fun stuff. It's some real, digging deep and knowing what makes you tick. Why are you the way that you are? You may need some therapy. You may need to
Oh.
get real deep and be real
Yeah.
vulnerable with yourself. And that's what I did. And that allowed me to date with a purpose. So my husband now, he wasn't the first person that I dated after that. But when I did start dating with a purpose, I knew that when I got that next proposal, I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna work. This cannot be my man.
Yeah.
This is not my life partner. And
Yeah.
I knew that okay, just because this dude gave me a ring doesn't mean I need to accept.
Oh.
There's someone better for me. Because it's gonna end once again in failure. And you have to know that you worthy enough to hold out, and that whoever or whatever you believe in has someone or something out there for you.
Yes.
And as
That.
long as you know all of that, then you can hold out and wait on whoever is meant to be your partner.
That's so good that you say that, because I'm hearing that even just from a Christian perspective that women are out here settling because
Exactly.
they're tired of waiting.
That's exactly it. And we are we are the prize. He who chooses a wife chooses a good thing.
Yeah.
We are the prize, and we as women we forget that. Like some of us don't think, I don't think we know that.
Yeah.
We are just
Yeah.
settling for just a warm body. And that
Ooh.
shouldn't happen. We need to stop that. Cut that stuff out.
Yeah.
That's just
To,
ridiculous. Like we bring value to the table, but a lot of women also need to realize that if you think that you can just bring intimacy, or should I say sex, to a relationship and that's enough, it's not enough. It's more than that. If you want a real relationship, a substantial relationship, it's more than just that.
yeah. Yeah. That's really good. And definitely let us know, get us all the way together, because we definitely need to be reminded, just like, and I'm hearing it so much and I'm just shaking my head. But that was really good with what you said when you said that it's more than just going out and taking yourself out to eat, which is not a bad thing,
Right,
but
it's
it
not.
goes beyond that. Is the inner work, the internal stuff that you need to deal with. Like, why did you just get pissed off at this dude who just made a simple comment at you? Like, let's dig deep into that stuff. That was really good.
Right. It's like you need to know, okay, what happened to you in your childhood? Why do you get angry at certain things? What have you even talked about that to anyone? That was my
Yeah.
problem. There was things that happened to me in my childhood that I had never talked about to anyone. I suppressed that for so long. And that was the root of
Yeah.
my anger. And I
Mm.
had so much anger that I couldn't have a civilized conversation or an argument in a relationship. The arguments in my previous relationship, or the disagreements, let's say that, turned
Mhm.
into arguments. And they would be like, oh my gosh, my words would slice and dice people.
Ooh,
I
yeah.
would go for it all to
Yeah.
cut a man down. And
Yeah.
that's what my
Yeah.
words were doing, because I
Mhm.
had so much anger and so much hurt inside of me that I had never let out.
Yeah.
It was just bottled up.
Yeah, I used to be the exact same way until I started going to counseling.
Mhm.
I want to say I started going to counseling maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And I realized, just kind of like what you said, as an adult, I never dealt with any of the things that happened to me in my childhood. But I would just suppress, 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 suppress. And now when a guy is talking to me, a king, a man of God is talking to me, yeah, yeah, my words. And then it even took a couple of people, even my friends, as men saying, that really hurt. And it's different when a man can really just is that vulnerable and says, yo, that hurt, that
Right,
really hurt me, and it just did something to me.
right. A lot of men, they just leave you alone. They won't say anything, and they'll call
Yeah,
you all
yeah.
types of names or something like that, or
Right.
you had problems, or something to that effect. But then
Mhm.
you'll have some that say, I used to have some to say, you are the sweetest person. But when you get angry, you turn into someone
Mhm.
else.
Mhm.
And, I just used to hear it and I never thought anything of it. I'm like, oh, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah, he
You know,
tripping.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Just move on. But it wasn't until that time when I had to get real with myself and it was a moment or a period in my life of reflection. And
Mhm.
I'm like,
Mhm.
people just can't be, it's just not a coincidence that people are saying the same thing about me. I was like, okay, it's a good thing that I'm nice. And,
Yeah.
people like to be around me until I get angry.
Mm.
I was one of those that got angry and I was putting my fist through walls. I was breaking
Oh.
things. Like,
Yeah.
I was a dangerous person to be around if I got angry.
Yeah.
I was the girl who everyone called when they wanted to, to fight somebody or something when we were
Yeah.
young. That was me. And
Yeah.
just looking back on all of that, it was like, wow, I can't believe I was that person.
Yeah.
And it was all because of this, all the situations that happened to me when I was younger.
Yep. Yep, yep. And just as a side note, that's really good. But one of the key things, and this is probably not the most popular opinion, now, but one of the first questions when I date or I'm getting to know somebody, how did you grow up? Are your
Mm-hmm.
parents still married? Were they ever together? Were you raised in a single parent home? I go deep off the rip,
And,
just from the jump, because that helps me to see how you are now. And for one, and even if you have anger management, is there bitterness there? That helps me point out all of that early.
and it's a great thing to do. I mean, it's great when you are dating, it's great to talk. You need to have
Mm,
open and honest communication. The
yeah.
thing the thing that happened in my current relationship that led us this far was our
Mm-hmm.
communication. We talked
Mm,
about any and everything. There was nothing that was held back.
yeah.
And when you find that type of person that you can talk, from childhood on up,
Mm-hmm.
then that's a relationship that you should possibly explore.
Mm, Okay.
because
Okay.
communication is absolutely everything, because
Mhm.
it can get you through anything, your finances and children,
Mhm.
you name it, in any factor of the relationship, you should be able to weather a storm.
Yeah.
But if
That's
you don't
good.
have that communication, there's going to be there's going to be a problem. There's definitely going to be a problem if you the two of you cannot talk.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's really good. So let's say she's done all of the work she's needed to do. She's found out, what she likes. She's just done everything for herself. And now she's in a relationship. Should the couple attend therapy together? Say she has a kid, he has a kid. Should they be attending therapy together?
I think once they are at a point where they say, okay, we are ready to take that next step, either living together, getting married, or whatever the next step consists of to them, and they want to make it solid. And I would say have met the children, and they are at that stage where they definitely say, okay, this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. They should definitely seek some counseling, because you can talk about things, that's fine. But I just found in therapy with my husband and I,
Mm-hmm.
the therapy, it helped to explain more.
Yeah.
It dug a lot deeper
Mm.
for the both of us. It the explanation of why we are the way that we are made things so much clearer once we got into therapy.
Mm.
Like I had told him that I was molested when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
but therapy helped him to really understand how I really felt behind
Yeah.
it was the full explanation that brought it out.
Yeah.
And for him, it helped me to understand that he is a leader and he is used to people depending on him, which both
Mm.
of us are in that situation because both of us are leaders, and the responsible ones in our family. So you have two strong people coming together now,
Right.
and which is something we found out. We kind of saw it, but it really hit home for us in therapy.
Mm.
And so you have these two strong people who are used to taking care of other people in the family, that other family members come to in need of help, or financially, or motivational talks or whatever, or other family members look up to, and now we're together, somebody has to lead the household. So
Yeah.
it was like almost a power struggle. Now I say that I wanted a man to kind of be the man of the house, but it was hard for me.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of almost proving to do in a sense.
Mm.
And I still wasn't ready to let go of all of my, I guess, I still had a lot of, I can't say secrets,
Mm-hmm.
but I really wasn't ready to let my guard down. I had a lot of trust issues. That was what's wrong.
Yeah.
And so it took still a little while, even though we lived together
Mm-hmm.
and we were married, I still had trust issues, and like, okay, is this guy gonna fail? Is he gonna let me down? Because men in my
Mm.
past had let me down. I had
Yeah.
daddy issues. I didn't have a father in my life. He was there, but he wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still struggling with that, even though I went to therapy and everything, but you just can't help those type of things. So he
Mm.
still had to kind of coddle me in a sense. So it took a
Yeah.
couple of maybe about 2 years before I really felt secure that everything was going to be okay in this marriage.
Yeah. Wow, wow. Wow. So do you think that there could have been anything more or less that you did to prevent that insecurity within the marriage, or it was just a process that you guys had to go through together?
It was definitely a process we had to go to do together because it wasn't anything that he did. Like he
Mhm.
wasn't, no one was calling him or anything like that. I didn't see him with anybody. So it wasn't any of that type of insecurity. It was just my own,
Mm.
because I went through so many failed relationships. I've had, men tell me they were going to do this and they're going to do that. It was those type of things. And it wasn't me comparing him to anyone else. It was just that I had trust issues with men
Mhm.
and women.
Mm.
Just don't trust people. Yeah, I'm from the show me. Okay, you got to show me.
Yeah.
I'd rather do things myself. I don't put my faith in anyone.
Yeah.
I'd rather do it myself. I don't want to depend on anyone. And
Right.
that's how I've always been. And so for me now to be in this relationship, I'm feeling like, okay, this is a little bit too good to be true. I'm like, let
Mm.
me let me just tiptoe this.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
understood. He understood and he was willing to take it, you know, slow with me.
Mhm.
And it wasn't like we were moving slow, but he could tell that I was like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
one of those type of things.
Yeah.
And he just kept saying, okay, I'm not going anywhere. I'm like,
Mm.
okay, if you say so.
Right. We'll see.
Right.
Wow. That's a beautiful story within itself. And how long have you all been married?
It'll be 9 years next month.
Wow, nice, nice. So he
Mhm.
said he wasn't going anywhere.
That's right.
So so the two are a couple. So when is a good time to introduce the children when you are dating, if both parties have children, or even if just one party has a child?
I would say when you feel that the relationship is ready for the next level, when both of you feel that okay, this is the one without a shadow of a doubt, you're ready
Hmm.
to take it to the next level. Whether that next level is going to be moving in together,
Hmm.
um, or whatever your next level is, whether it's exclusivity,
Yeah.
um, whatever you call that next level.
Okay. Okay.
Because
So
everybody's next level is different. Some people come in
yeah.
and they say, okay, we're just going to be friends. Okay, then they may start out being exclusive or,
Hmm.
however it is. But once you decide that this is your one, I would say at that time,
Okay.
that's when the
Once.
kids, so then that there hopefully won't be a chance that this person is going to walk out of your life. I mean, things happen all the time,
Yeah.
but you should be on the same page because you have this other person, this younger person's
Hmm.
possible heart or feelings involved.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And I like that you pointed out that everybody's next level looks different. You
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of us, we would just automatically assume that the next level is marriage, and
Right.
but that's not everybody's next level. So I think that that's really good that you um acknowledge that when you or when both parties really feel like it's the one. So all of that has been done. When should all parents involved meet? Now, Nicole, I have this thing, and with my daughter's father, and this is me personally, with my daughter's father, when we broke up, I said, "Hey, listen, I don't care who you date, whatever the case may be. I trust you enough not to bring someone crazy around my child or just off the chain. I trust that enough.
Right.
But what I would like, I'm not saying we have to be buddy buddy, we have to hang out all the time, but can I at least meet her? You know, let
Mm-hmm.
her meet me. We don't have to do this every weekend. This is not a weekly thing. It doesn't even have to be a monthly thing, but at least let me meet her at least one time before you decide to start bringing her around my child. And of course, this is an unpopular opinion with some people because they're like, oh, no, that's not necessary. I think it is kind of necessary, especially if you feel like he's getting serious with this young lady. I think that I should probably meet her. So when is like a good point, and what are some things that we can do to kind of gauge if we should even be meeting one another?
I think at that same time, when around that same time when the kids are meeting this other
Mhm.
person,
Mhm.
once the kids have met that other person and they are kind of familiar with that person, because
Mhm.
now you're at another level, and this is a possibility that this you could be living with this child,
Right.
maybe at some point, and this could be a part of your new family. I think that once it goes a little further, then eventually there should be an introduction. Now,
Mhm.
if the kids are living with the person, I
Mhm.
say definitely there should be an introduction. If they're
Uh-huh.
not living with the person,
The
maybe,
significant other, you mean?
yeah, if they're not living with the
Uh-huh.
person, maybe not so much.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe not so much. If there's no living situation involved, unless the person is spending the night at the house.
Frequently.
Yeah, frequently.
Yeah.
Then and I say that there should be some sort of introduction because we live in a crazy society, and
Yeah.
you hear all the time that the boyfriend or the girlfriend, there's some involvement with something going on with the child in the house,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
either it's an abduction or a murder or something foolish like.
Yeah.
I just would like to lay eyes on
Oh,
somebody,
you're
just
right.
say hello,
Right.
just
Yeah.
just to say hello, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Nothing more than that. And yeah, I would agree that no, we don't need to be friends or anything like that.
Right, right. But we can be cordial.
We just need to have, yeah, we definitely need to be cordial, and there needs to be
Mhm.
some sort of conversation, at least an introduction.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. I definitely like that, and I definitely agree with you 100%. So all of this happens, and the biological mom and the stepmom don't like each other,
Mm.
or the other parent don't like each other. Well, then what do we do when nobody likes each
Oh
other?
man. It is, sometimes always wanting that whole mixture that just can't play nice in the sandbox.
Yeah.
And when you have someone that's not an adult, you pray that they grow up.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you would hope that they would not like the person for some sort of valid reason, but typically it's not.
Mhm.
Um you keep it pushing. It's nothing you can do with somebody who's immature.
Right.
Because typically they don't like the person because of jealousy. So it's their own insecurity or their own
Yeah.
problem as to why they don't like the person.
Right.
Because it's no valid reason. The person typically has not said anything or done anything to you. Your problem is with your ex.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that?
In my situation,
Mm-hmm.
there was a divorce
Mm-hmm.
because the relationship was over prior to me
Coming
coming
into the picture.
on into the picture. Both of them were dating other people,
Mm-hmm.
and I came on the scene. He decided, okay, we really need to leave this time. I'm meaning it this time. I'm leaving, and they get the divorce. Now she was fine and everything with him dating and taking care of the overhead in the house because
Mm-hmm.
one was living upstairs, the other was living downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But once he decides to end that situation and make her life, I guess, go another way where you have to take care of yourself now,
Right. Right.
and I want to be happy, now it's a problem. But you had a
Mm.
problem before. You were living a fictitious marriage. You were just
Mm-hmm.
on paper, you were married, but you weren't living the married life.
Mm-hmm.
Both of
Mm-hmm.
you were dating other people. And I mean dating other people before I came along, years before I came along.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So now you have a problem with me. So
Hmm.
you don't like me. You don't want to talk to me, but your children are living in my house.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So now I can understand why you see, yeah, the issue is not with me, it's with the ex.
Right, because
Yeah.
your life is different.
Mm-hmm.
But how long do you expect for your life to be the same or someone to keep your lifestyle the same when they're not happy?
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be happy either. So that and that's what I'm saying. There's so many situations like that
Yeah.
that you're together for financial reasons, but
Mm.
emotionally you're not happy. You're alone. You're miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But why not be by yourself?
Right. Right. Right.
When I was in my first marriage, I was absolutely miserable.
Mm.
When we separated and we were living separately,
Mm-hmm.
I had so much peace.
Oh, wow.
Like
Yeah.
there's no way, even though I had another check coming into the house,
Uh-huh.
there's no way that I would want to be unhappy. I
Right.
would rather be by
Yeah.
myself and be happy than be
Mm-hmm.
with someone just to say, okay, I had my bills paid or an extra check coming in.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked up another job. you know,
Right.
you have to do what you have to do, but I tell everyone, there's nothing better than peace.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's really not. It's really not.
Hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, for one, thank you for sharing that. That definitely shed some light on that statement. And so you have this beautiful blended family. How did you get it to this point? Because you said, it was a rough start, but what's something that, or what are some tips that you can give to us, not even just, as well, yes, us as mothers or as single mothers, how can we, take that to the next level and have a nice, respectful blended family at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, it's really more so, like you said, about the peace, and it's about the children and what the children see, because they can pick up a lot of stuff just based off of what they see and experience.
Right, right. I'm going to say for with my situation, don't feed into it because there was a lot of things said from
Mhm.
the on the outside, from
Mhm.
one of the parents,
Mhm.
that filtered into the house,
Mhm.
through one, one, maybe two at times of the kids. But it can be sometimes hard to ignore, but you just have to
Yeah.
ignore it and roll off your shoulders. You know what's really going on in your house.
Right.
You know how things happened. You know what happened, how it happened. Um, and eventually the truth will come out.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you have to be an adult and
Mm.
let things roll off your shoulders. You can't feed into it because, someone on the outside says something. So you have to refute it to a child and say,
Yeah.
that's not true because she did this, that you don't do that.
Mhm.
You,
Mhm.
you, you don't talk to children about adult things.
Right. Right.
That there's no place for that. That should never, ever, ever happen. And I hear about it so much and see it so much where adults are talking to their children about their mom or their dad. And that's really
Mm.
unfair for that
Yeah.
child to have to listen to that and have to go through that because you're making them choose sides and they're going to feel sorry
Right.
for one of the parents.
Mm. Yeah. And
And,
it may
and
not be you.
right. And, it's like the parent wants them to feel sorry for them and take their side. And I'm like, how juvenile is
Yeah.
that? You're a grown person. These kids, they love their parents equally.
Right. Right.
Don't make your child take a side because you and their other parent have split up and
Yeah.
you two may have a rift or something happen in your relationship. Don't put that child in the middle of it.
Mhm.
You leave them out of it. You go talk to your girlfriend or whoever about your situation. So when you have that happening, um, it causes problems.
Mm.
And so you, as this new bonus parent, you have to find your ways. For me, it was a lot of prayer. I went back
Mhm.
into therapy.
Yeah.
No, I I talked to my husband, but
Mm.
that's a hard place for that other parent to be in because the child is now feeling sorry for the parent who is telling them all of this information because you had a mom talking about their dad and now the child is looking sideways at their dad because the mom
Yeah.
is feeling bad. It's just a bad situation. And
Yeah.
so when I'm talking to my husband about this, I had to you have to take yourself. At least I did. I took myself out of the equation because I'm ticked off that all this is going on. I've never been in this type of situation before and never thought I ever would be.
Yeah.
So I can't expect for this man to choose between me and his daughter.
Mhm.
I'm a
Mhm.
parent.
Right.
I would
Yeah.
never want somebody to put me in that type of situation.
Mhm.
So I had to step away from that and just gain some patience and pray that this would get better. And finally, through the grace of God, it did. it just took some time. Me and the daughter, we had a conversation. She asked me a lot of questions. I
Mm-hmm.
asked her questions. It made, I guess, her feel a lot more comfortable with me
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
possibly see that a lot of things that were being told to her were not true.
Yeah.
So I got my moment to shine without going back at
The other party.
other party or her and refuting anything.
Mm-hmm.
I just answered some simple questions.
Yeah.
It may have been a year later, but I answered them
Right.
truthfully and honestly. And what really turned everything around is when the daughter started dating someone and her mom and grandmom started treating the young man like she was treating me.
Mm.
And that was what brought everything like really to the forefront. And
Yeah.
she felt bad because there was no reason for it. But she
Yeah.
saw what had been going on all the whole time.
Mm.
And she really, felt bad for it. So our relationship is much better.
Okay. That's good. That's good.
So that's how everything came to be blended to perfection. Are we perfect? No, but it is my sense of perfectness. It's perfect for me compared
Yeah.
to where we were when, the relationship or the marriage first started and we all, became blended.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause it was rocky. I didn't think we were going to make it at all. I'm like, oh my God, did I sign up for this? Like, what
Right.
world did I do to myself?
Right. So like after all of that, and this is my last question, like when the blended families, do you all celebrate like the kids, or did you guys, well, I'm sorry, let me ask this. When you and your now husband, when you all married, were your kids already older and grown, so there was no like baseball games and birthday parties and things like that?
Oh, so the youngest was 8. He was 7
Okay.
going on 8. Uh, the oldest that lived in the house was 18, but his oldest was in his early 20s. I think he was 21, 22,
Okay.
somewhere in that area. So, we had fashion shows, we had dance, uh, music. One's a singer, um,
Mm-hmm.
hair show. We had all types of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have
Okay.
dancers and cosmetologists. One the singer, she sings opera. She went to school
Oh,
with that.
nice.
Yes. We have basketball. We have lacrosse,
Nice.
football.
You
So
guys
we
were
have all.
busy.
Yes, we have all types of things going on. We have plays, every you name it. We have all types of things going on.
Hmm.
Um, so we were very, very busy as a unit, and we did things together as well as a family. We went on vacations, um, and you know, we bowling,
Nice.
picnics, dinners, movies, everything.
Uh-huh.
It's just as a normal family.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good. I love that, and I definitely appreciate your insight from this whole perspective. I think that if anything, this is probably one of those episodes where like I'm really thinking now, you know, some
Mm-hmm.
things even for on my end being a single parent temporarily, it's just amazing to just hear your insight on this, and I definitely appreciate you coming and sharing your wisdom with me and my guests. Um, definitely really appreciate it. How can you have 3 books? How can we find those books, and how can we get in contact with you? Are you on social media, and how can we find your books?
I am on social media, but if you, I guess, hit me up on social media, it will take me a little while to get back to you. I don't check it very often, but I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Talk to Nicole.
Okay.
Uh, my website is talktonicole.com.
Okay.
And on my website, you can find my books.
Okay.
There,
Okay.
there is a discount code blend 7 BLEND and the number
B
7.
blend 7. Okay. Okay.
Yep, and it'll give you a small discount off of my books. And what else? I do have another book coming out.
Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. Very, very soon. Actually, it should be out the next 30 days.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
hmm Um, but I would say, as far as relationships goes, if you find that special one and you have a strong connection, great communication, that right there for me was enough to just make me stick with it. I just saw something in this relationship that I just said, this is it. And
Mm,
even through all of that stuff I had to go through, um, it still made me stay. There were some thoughts in
mm.
my head, like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make this. I'm not gonna make it through.
Yeah.
But it was just our strong connection just made me stay.
Yeah.
And looking back at it, I'm so happy. Both of us, we talk about it all the time. We're so happy that we stayed together because we work as a team now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we work with my business together. We both are business owners,
Okay.
and we have just built up so much considering where we both came from.
Mm. Nice. Well, congratulations on your new book. Hey, and if you guys missed anything of what she said, it will be in the show notes for you guys to be able to go to her website to be able to purchase any of her books that she has, and just to be able to, even if you just want to connect with her, if something resonated with you from this episode, please don't hesitate to reach out to her and just kind of let her know. I'm pretty sure she will really enjoy hearing the feedback from it. And listen, old friends and new friends, if you would like to reach out to me, Brown, I am the host. You can find me on Instagram at Dear Single Mama Podcast. Also, the website at www.dearsingle.mama.com, and also on Facebook at Dear Single Mama Podcast. And again, these will be in the show notes. Subscribe and leave a review, a 5-star review. I shall say, if you don't mind. And I really appreciate this. Was just a really good, insightful conversation. And I just really appreciate you, Nicole, for coming on and sharing your insight with us. It was just amazing.
Oh, you're welcome. It was definitely a pleasure being here, and I hope to come back soon.
Yes, yes, yes. We will definitely reconnect very, very soon. All right, you guys. Thank you for listening to another episode of Dear Single Mama Podcast. I love you guys, and there's nothing you can do about it, but God loves you more. So make sure you keep your eyes focused and stayed on Him, as He is the author and the finisher of everything pertaining to your life, you guys. And until next time, peace.